everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we just have a couple of nuggets for you. Looks like we have a little bit of a wheel of misfortune for your favorite state head, if you will, for lack of a better word. And we have more to come. Hi, everybody, and welcome to this 11th hour segment of Black Spring with Autumn. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you for taking some time out of your Father's Day to to hack it up here, rack it up here, whatever, however you want to spin it. But thank you so much for coming in, and we'll just give it a word of thanks to our loyal patrons, our subscribers, and of course the viewers like you. I just have a couple of nuggets, or maybe a few nuggets for you. And I don't know, maybe just a little bit of commentary in there. I'll try not to make it too painful on your Sunday slash Father's Day. We'll be right back. And happy Father's Day to everyone out there. And we'll be right back. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to once again this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And this is the 11th hour. And I would like to take a moment to say hi to Tyrant's Bane TDOA as well as Latin Patriot. Thank you guys so much for coming in. Hope you guys are doing well and hope you're having a great Sunday slash Father's Day, or at least maybe you are winding it down. And yeah, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And you guys should know that you are needed, and you are wanted, and you are deserving. So don't let anybody tell you otherwise. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. So I guess I'm just going to give a little bit of commentary. And because just to start off, I'll just make it really brief. I mean, the weekend seemed to be all the buzz. All the buzz has been quite a bit about the Juneteenth, and I've heard both sides. You know, I've heard both sides of of those who are pro. Without a doubt, Tyrant's Bane, TDOA. A lot going on. Yes. And I just think that we're at a pivotal point in which that I think that there's a lot of I think there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity here to for the revisionist of history, or there's an opportunity for division. We have revision opportunity, a division opportunity, and we have an opportunity for people to just think for themselves and decide what does it mean to you? Does it mean anything to you? And just, as to, I think it can be done. I do think that there's some politicization involved. Of course I do. I think there's a division, and then I do think there is the revision, and both both are, are pretty much, they pretty much serve, I think they serve one another. However, there seems to be, from what I gather, there seems to be a couple of different narratives, or either people are, they seem to be a little bit misinformed about what the significance. Can somebody give us the significance of the date? Give us the significance of where the good news, where did the good news come from? Who shared the good news? And then, is it something to celebrate, or is it something to observe? What's wrong with observing something? I mean, do I need an excuse to fire up the grill? No, I don't. I'm just, it's just, at this point, it's low hanging fruit if people are going out doing things and being a part of things, or being wrapped into things without doing their own research, or without finding out, you know, the history behind something. Because we do have a lot of opportunists out there that, they'll take there's a dare I say, there's a misinformed person, listening every minute. Or, I think it's a good thing to celebrate liberty. Of course it is. Of course it is. But I think it's important to know the context, and to know both sides of of something that was inhumane. I think it's important. So, um yeah, but honestly, I won't be. I'm not. This is my thing. I have not celebrated Juneteenth, and it's not something that I'm going to start doing. And so that's my position. Um, but I will not be misinformed by it, and I won't allow, you know, somebody to just kind of do a drive by. Some people do these little drive by histories, and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, come along, come on, there's a party going on. Let me tell you about this party, and then all of a sudden, just that's just not that's just not the way that I that's just not my way. And yeah, so do what you will, do what you want, but at least be informed about the history of it, so that you are not so that you cannot so that you don't use it down the road and say, hey, oh, I didn't know that. Or like blindly following things around. I just don't know. It's just amazing to me what people will fall for if they put slavery on the front of something, or if they put the word black on the front of something. It's just amazing what people can make people do, or people can be coerced into doing. So yeah, that's pretty much, because I find it to be all the talk. It just seems like all we do is all we're doing is talking about race, and yeah, that's all we're talking about. But what else are we missing? There's got to be something else going on here. I mean, the politicians are doing what they do to keep the division going on. But that's all, it's not as divided as they'd like for everyone to think. But for some people, they just kind of, it's easy to just kind of jump on the wave, and just kind of ride it, because that's what they're used to doing. They're not used to, they want to be fed things, and they'd rather just do that than to look anything up for themselves, or to apply any kind of logic to anything. So I just think, if this is their idea of inclusion, or just being sneaky with stuff. And because of course this Juneteenth situation has come up. But to me, it's almost like it's been like a debate in the middle of people calling it, it's celebratory, yet it's debate, yet it's just been nothing but talk of race, and who did what to whom. It's just been nonstop. And I will tell you, and I'm gonna have to put it out here. Now, I will say that we in the what we refer to as the Black community, we've had a culture of other Blacks that continuously put other Blacks down. So, it might not be pretty, but it is what it is, and it's not what it's not. And I think we've had I think the generations, dare I say, baby boomers, and the people in that from that era and beyond, they seem to have had they've always kind of kept up a narrative or an emotional kind of exclusion that basically, well, you're not going to be able to do that because you're black. Well, and whether you believed it or not, that was kind of like on you. I mean, this wasn't their America, but they described it to you, when you were growing up or as a kid or whatnot. But it was up to you. You still had a different experience, whether you like it or not. You still had a different school day, different experience. You had a different library card experience. Everybody has had a different experience. Can we remove any of the past? No, we can't. But I just think you just have to be a little bit more like, when it comes to history, you have to, the objectivity to me is about the only thing that I think that can bring any kind of balance to these kinds of arguments. And to the narrative today, because I think some of the elders in the community, I think that they kind of bought into some things, hook, line, and sinker. And I think, they should take some responsibility for some of the hoodwinking that's gone on as well. Let me just read some comments here. And hi, Zero the Infinite, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And Reasonability says distraction for sure. And Zero the Infinite says, make sure you hit the like button. I really appreciate it. See, listen, I'm not in the club. I'm not going to be a member of the club. I'm fine with that. I accept that. But it's nice to have, more people come in and, more people in the chat to engage with us. It's, kind of balances things out. And Tyrus Bang TDOA says, this country is built on people doing things to other people. Yes, it is. And it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop, unfortunately. But yeah, but I will tell you, this is, and this is my final conclusion. Hello to Friends in Coat. How are you? My conclusion, part of my conclusion is, I think that the left and the progressives, or dare I say the progressives, the leftists, they all want to have some type of, I think they're kind of trying to channel their own revisionist history here, in terms of, I think sometimes Biden thinks he's like some kind of Theodore Roosevelt. Because to me, this type of, oh, well, they gave us a holiday, they gave us a statue, they gave us a street name. I mean, all of these things to me, with everything that's gone on over the last, dare I say, 12, 16 months, it's just that we've started replacing things. We started replacing things, whether it's a statue, or there's a replacement coming for everything that's being deconstructed, or or torn down in some way, is being replaced. And what will you say 10 years from now? Are you going to say, well, this is what I witnessed? Or are you going to be, or are you going to grab some history books before they're all rewritten? Or I just think this is, you have to kind of hold on to, you have to preserve some level of truth or honesty, because it's not going to be there. It's not going to be what's taught, unfortunately. But yeah, I see a lot of these things as them kind of writing a new era, or a new era for the history books. I really do. All this progressive kind of stuff, it's, to me, I think that's what it is. I think they are trying to, maybe they're even trying to rehitch the Black community to the Democrats. Maybe they are. I mean, I think in the past that the community was sold out. That's my assertion, so to speak, for the lack of a better word, sold out. I think that there were things that were, I think values were exchanged for government benefits, or government securities, or government liberties. I think a lot of that, I think that's what happened. And I think right now it's not that much different. I think that, this administration thinks that maybe they can even, maybe for the people that they lost in this last, that they've lost, because they have to know that people are starting to look at them starting to ask questions that they've not asked before about that party, and about, just some of the just the results, their actions. I think people are questioning, their actions, and other people of influence are questioning their actions. So it's starting to spread, but I think they're trying to keep their wagon hitched as much as they can, because they want to hold on to as many votes as they can. And I think that's a lot of the it just seems that we stay in a campaign loop, or we stay in a loop of of an upcoming something, or so many seats are up for grabs. But yeah, so that's just kind of my thing. I'm thinking that I think this Juneteenth thing is very much political. And for some people, they're going to be inclined to stay hitched to that wagon, and then some people are probably going to ignore it and just keep doing what they normally do. But I do think it's going to be a point of division, of course, because you do have, another holiday coming up very soon. And yeah, and to slide that word independence in there, it's how much more divisive can you be? It's almost like you're kind of, in some ways, are you trying to delegitimize something, or are you just trying to cause the division? You're trying to keep everybody at each other's throats, or you trying to make it appear that get as close as you can to having everybody at each other's throats. So everybody do your own research and decide what it means to you. But I'll pass on some of the trending, because I don't think this will be the end of it. I think they're just going to keep coming out with things, and keep highlighting things, and making things, blowing things out of proportion, or either uh you know adding hyperbolic tags onto on history, on events of the past, things that people were, maybe they weren't as informed as they thought they were. But it's an opportunity to drive more division. It is. I mean, as if we don't have enough. We have a lot going on. We've got mocktails, we've got this, we've got it's just. And then what? And then what's going to be the ultimate rise of power? And what's going to be the ultimate hammer, I guess? Well, everybody's focusing on symbolism, and it's just low hanging fruit. Low hanging fruit. So thank you guys so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And I'll get on with it. That's enough on that. And hope you guys are doing well. I have Friends in Code. Thank you so much, Friends in Code, for sharing out the stream. Really appreciate it. And Zero the Infinite says, those people are falling apart and trying to hold on to what little power that they have. All right, guys, I really appreciate you for coming in for the 11th hour. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So we're going to get on with our nuggets. And I'm going to read the comment here from Zero the Infinite. Zero the Infinite says, Juneteenth is a holiday of the day that Black people who were slaves went from private property to public property. So no thanks. I feel no pride in that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we're going to go over to our first story. And we have one story that's out of Atlanta, in which it's very interesting. The mayor of Atlanta, and we're dealing with the heads of state here, if you will, for the lack of a better word. I don't know. I don't want to call them leaders, but I think I'm going to take you. We're going to start with that one first on this segment. I hope you guys are doing well out there. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in. And we're going to go ahead and start with this first liner, and that is the mayor designates 100 city-owned Atlanta restrooms as gender neutral. Okay. So I find that interesting, considering that she's not running for re-election, but it sounds a lot like like the Obama administration, like before you leave, let me just do this one last thing. Bottoms up, right? Bathroom bottoms, right? Hold the glitch on the algorithm there. All right, so we'll get into this, and this is coming out of Fox 5. Hope you guys are doing well on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really appreciate you guys for coming in at the 11th hour. I almost did not do this stream, but I decided I would do it. So thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. All right, so according to this is mayor designates 100 city-owned Atlanta restrooms gender neutral. Okay, so according to this, more than 100 restrooms owned by the city of Atlanta will now be designated for use by all genders. Wednesday, Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms signed a new administrative order at a ceremony that would designate the restrooms be gender neutral. All the restrooms, which will be available across the city, will be single use. This order includes restrooms at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. Okay, so it looks like here you have the city of Atlanta's tweet. And looks like they're commemorating the, I guess, free the John, I guess. I don't know, dare I say. But I'm going to keep scrolling through here. According to this, of course, it's more of a reiteration. Today, Mayor at Keisha Bottoms signed an administrative order designating over 100 city-owned single-use restrooms as all gender. These restrooms will be available across city facilities, including at ATL Airport, the world's busiest airport. Okay, in a tweet, the city of Atlanta's director of LGBTQ affairs, Malik Brown, said he was, quote, grateful to have a boss who uses every tool in her toolbox to move LGBTQ equality forward, end quote. Okay, so you can see, I don't know what you guys think about that, but hello, it's Killer Whale Channels. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hello to Gary Gage and Zero the Infinite. All right, so yeah, but I find that interesting. That is that a signature? What is the signature with? Yeah, I say it's like everybody wants, not everybody, but that side of the coin seems to want that community to be a part of their signature. Their legacy ends with LGBTQ. I'm just saying, I don't know the significance of it. I'm just making an observation, and I'm saying there's irony there. It just seems like, you had one administration that lit up the White House, in the name of that community. Now we have this. So I don't know. It just seems like I will say this. It just seems like many things are being. It seems like many things, or many of these ideologies are being linked to that community. Just about, you can't have, I think even Planned Parenthood has jumped on the bandwagon. Somehow Planned Parenthood is now linked to LGBT community. Like you have to go on their Instagram page to see the propaganda and all the stuff that they're putting out. It's unlike anything I've seen. Maybe I'll just plug into that just a second. Hope you guys are doing well out there. I'm just making some observations here. But everything seems to be in the vein of that community. And I'm just stunned that I don't know what one thing has to do with the other. It's always some kind of weird hitching. They will hitch anything. It's amazing. Okay. Yes. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I may come back to that in just a little bit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's Otto the Watchdog. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. Let me read a couple of comments from you guys. I really appreciate it. And Zero the Infinite says, how did I know you were going to say that as soon as you did? Okay, Zero the Infinite says a method of population control. Gary Gage says, actually, there's a long time issue on restroom availability. Last time I was at a casino concert, ladies' rooms were backed up in a line. The men's rooms were in and out. What's up with that? Okay, you guys have got the. Thank you guys for sharing. Okay, I really appreciate it. So, with that said, I don't think I had an actual. I want to make sure I'm not depriving you of any imagery there or any report there. Let's just give it a whirl. Let's see if we're missing something here.
Dreaming of becoming a doctor?
So we'll just let that run out and see what else is there on tap. Maybe you can get it from the horse's mouth, as they say. Well, buffering. Oh, no. Sorry. Definitely not that. Okay, so maybe it's this one. I think it might be this one. Maybe you can hear a word from the author of whatever this is here. Or maybe not. We'll work on that later. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. And let's go to another segment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. All right, guys, I really appreciate you guys so much for coming in on your Father's Day / it's almost Monday, right? Thank you guys so much for coming in. And we're going to go to what I'm considering the Wheel of Misfortune, perhaps. It's very ironic that we had King Newsom, doing he was hosting the names of the winners from the mocktail drawing, and we kind of went over the fact that Marin County and Santa Barbara County, they were many, the winners came from those areas. We were talking about that, and he was kind of playing his role. He was really playing into this whole role of being a game show host, but it looks like he ran into something that was a little bit less. He wasn't as fortunate. And we're going to go to that story, and we're going to take that liner from Fox News. And looks like the California governor was assaulted or accosted by a man who was arrested and charged with an assault. So we'll go into that just really quickly. Once again, hope you guys are doing well on your Sunday / Monday. All right, I will be giving you the full screen here. Okay, so according to this we'll have some imagery here to come up soon, but according to this, California Governor Gavin Newsom was reportedly approached in an aggressive manner by a man in Oakland on Friday, with authorities arresting the individual and charging him with assault. California Highway Patrol confirmed in a statement to Fox News that Newsom was approached by an, quote, aggressive individual, end quote, and a security team removed him from the situation. The agency is investigating the incident. All right. The East Bay Times reported that the 54-year-old man allegedly threw a water bottle at the governor. He was booked on suspicion of resisting an executive officer and assaulting a public official. The individual from Berkeley, California, was arrested by the CHP officers and booked at Santa Rita Jail, a spokesperson for the CHP said. A spokesperson for Newsom's office didn't immediately return Fox News' request for comment. The East Bay Times reported that the governor appeared to be okay after the incident, even joking with reporters that, quote, people have different ways of saying hello, end quote. The publication noted that Newsom was in Oakland to promote small businesses in the area. You see what I mean? Shout out to Joseph Francis Burton. I do think I concur. And I'm going to paraphrase something that you said. These people really think they are hosting like the Hunger Games. I really do. And if he can deduce that the guy was saying hello from having a water bottle hurled at him, then what a deal. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hello, Otto the Watchdog. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. So we'll just have a tiny little break and then we'll come right back for more fun. And it looks like we've got some more tracking going on. So I'll be right back, guys, right after this. Hey guys, it's Black Spring with Autumn here. And if you'd like to help us out with our AI and dissemination of the stream campaign, please hit that like, unlike, dare to throw caution to the wind by sharing, or just making sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. And I want to thank you for your ultimate and baseline level support here on Black Spring with Autumn. And we'll be right back right after this. Right, guys, so we're going to go to our next segment. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you also, Otto the Watchdog, for sharing out the stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we're going to go on to our next segment, and that includes a tracking system. So I don't know, maybe you should check out what's available in your area. Looks like we have a CV Tracker app that installs itself without user consent, including on parental locked devices. So, all right, so we have a Penman Wahagan Kabayan. So this is from the National Pulse. So I'll probably give you guys the full scale on this one. Thank you so much for tuning in to this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. All right, so according to this, Massachusetts state officials recently announced the launch of the, quote, voluntary and, quote, mass notify app, which monitors the spread of the CV-19 in the state. The only problem is the app appears to be installing itself on residents and their kids' smartphones, unbeknownst to users and without their consent. The news creates a disturbing new dimension to privacy laws and even private property concerns, as hundreds of users have reported their Android phones have had the app surreptitiously installed without their prior knowledge. Quote, thank you, MA, Google, for silently installing #mass notify on my phone without consent. But I have a request. Can you also silently install an app that makes my phone explode and K-splat LL me? End quote, wrote Twitter user Justin Jacobs. Others have taken to the Android App Store to register their complaints. So here what you see before you looks like a little bit of a logging or registry on those complaints. You got 1 star assigned here. I just read one of it. This is Cassius King says, no one has permission to install apps on my phone except for me. Get bent, you overbearing totalitarian pieces of human garbage. You guys, I might put this out for you. You guys can read all these wonderful comments here. The outrage. Okay, it's just a way of spying and breaking federal laws. I hope they get sued for invasion of privacy. See, we've talked about what the Fourth Amendment before, and we've talked about how privacy will be a luxury that will be afforded to, you know what I mean, the elite. All right, I'm going to keep going here. You guys can chew on those comments. Okay, so maybe check it out. Make sure you don't have that on your phone. even if you're just passing through, Mass, the Boston Mass, or just the state of Mass, that you didn't get that app. So, according to this, the Mass Notify app was developed in cooperation with both Apple and Google and claims to work anonymously and, quote, not tracking, quote, users' private information. This claim was made by Republican Governor Charlie Baker, who said this week, quote, as we embrace our new normal. Mass Notify is a voluntary free tool to provide additional peace of mind to residents as they return to doing the things they love, end quote. The app notifies users who have been near a person that tested positive for CV, and the tracking is conducted using the Bluetooth. The app claims that the tracking will be, quote, completely anonymous with no location tracking or exchange of personal information, end quote. Furthermore, it promises not to share any location data or personal information with Google, Apple, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, or other users. Now, nearly 300 users have reviewed the intrusive app on the Android App Store, leaving it with a 1-star rating. As you can see, I was referring to those earlier. User Callie M wrote, quote, app automatically installed without consent. Weirdly, it has no icon. I can't find any way to open it and see if it could be useful. Bizarre that the state did something like this the very day that the state of emergency ended, when over half of adults, myself included, are mocktailed. What info could possibly be necessary with this egregious level of invasiveness? Now, a year ago, it would have made sense, end quote. See, some people, I don't know. You think they're on to something? The app is also managing to install itself despite parental restrictions, as illustrated by user Lex Neva. Quote, this installed silently on my daughter's phone without consent or notification. She cannot have installed it herself since we use Family Link and we have to approve all app installs. I have no idea how they pull this off, but it had to involve either Google or Samsung or both. Normal apps can't just install themselves. I'm not sure what's going on here, but this doesn't count as, quote, voluntary, end quote. We need information and we need it now, folks, end quote. Stephen Nasser wrote, quote, installed itself without consent. My rights have been violated and feel as if I've been spied upon, end quote. So again, here, this is more a reiteration of what we saw at the front of this. It's the plethora of negative reviews can be read here. You guys can chop it up. However, I'll continue. The implementation process of the app clearly contradicts the notion of voluntary participation, as well as raising concerns as to what else might be installed remotely without users' knowledge. Many in the state had no idea the app had been pushed to their devices until they got a notification. The app also appears to be reinstalling itself once forcibly removed by users. Quote, Ghost installed without my permission and keeps sending me push notifications. I removed it and it reinstalled itself. This isn't something I want in my phone. It's not something that has permission to be on my phone, nor should the Commonwealth or any other place, company be allowed to put something on my phone without my permission, end quote, said user Beth Silvaggio. All right, so call me crazy, but does it seem like some of the complicit people, does it seem like they're getting a little bit irritable? Does it seem like are they feeling violated now or yet? How are you guys doing? Thanks so much for coming in. Looks like Awesome Alice is here. Awesome Alice is here. How are you? Oh, you're most generous, Awesome Alice. You are most generous. Okay, Awesome Alice has a comment. She says, time to get a flip phone. Yeah, I had a friend that says, oh, I want a dumb phone. Or, somebody said that a long time ago, and this was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I want a dumb phone. But I don't know. I mean, can people really exist without, we're kind of dependent on these devices now, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. And Friends in Code says, gotta love the silent trackers that are not so silent, huh? Awesome Alice says, yep, I'm going to get a flip phone. And Otto the Watchdog says, oops. What do you know? It's only a fraction of what you know. You don't. A fraction of what you know, you don't know. And Austin Alice's, I'm getting ahead there. It says, this ain't my new normal. There you go. Hello, Information Man Show. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Nice to see you. And happy Father's Day if you're celebrating. And happy Father's Day to everyone in the chat. Yeah. As I said earlier, you guys are needed, you're wanted, and you deserve, you deserve you deserve to be respected in your natural authority. And Zero the Infinite says, make sure that you hit the like button on the way. I appreciate it. Awesome Alice says, I'm really thinking of going to old school. I'm really thinking going old school is the way. No, I think, old school can be, there's some comfort, not only the comfort in that, but there's some, there's some level of, there's consistency there. We know what works. Friends in Code says, as soon as you signed up to the social media is the moment that the tracking really started. Super cookies was and is still a thing. I wonder how you get advertisement for products. Fair point. Point well taken, Friends in Code. I agree. Anarchy Television's here. How are you, Anarchy Television? Thanks so much for coming in. And Awesome Alice says, you remember the cups and the strain phones. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, so I'm not sure. But you know what? I did a little bit of an article or a report not too long ago on how I think Canada has started to see more surveillance in there. Like there was a specific restaurant piece that I went into, and it talked about the amount of surveillance. Like the Chinese companies that are that have employees or here in the States or vice versa, and that surveillance has increased. Not only they're on the exchange right now. So we've had, I don't know. I don't think it's going to go. I don't think that's going to go anywhere anytime soon. I think the surveillance is only going to increase, and I think it's going to be the smartphone is going to be the host. And who knows what's installed already that you don't see. And then also, what was it? The HR 666. Make sure I get enough sixes in there. That particular bill, they incentivized, churches and community, communities to do the tracking. So I don't think it's going to go anywhere. It's going to all in the name of the CV-19. And you noticed in that article that the person says, hey, I'm fully mocktailed. I mean, what is going on here? Like, I now you're complaining, but I think maybe they're starting to see that, there's a little bit more going on here than just the idea of safety and protection here. So I don't know. I think that's kind of creepy that that they can forcefully remove it, but then it installs itself right back. So I don't know. I don't know what they need to turn off. Who knows? Who knows? And Friends in Code says, amazing how many rights you give up to play on internet's private companies. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Awesome Alice says, you ever watched that movie called The Net? No. Or maybe I did. Maybe I did see that movie, and I don't remember. I still don't remember the name. It seems like, was there I don't know if you remember the cover. And maybe I'm going into some kind of VHS mode, but it was kind of maybe it had like all numbers or something on the front. Or I don't know. It seems like I remember it on some level, just not specifically where I saw it. But Awesome Alice says, so they can follow their lab rats. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, it's AZ Infidel. Hi, AZ Infidel. Thanks so much for coming in. Okay, so we've kind of gone through a few things here. So I don't know if you're in the Massachusetts area. check the mass notify and see if the app has made it to your neck of the woods. And maybe it has. I mean, maybe it's working in the background and you just don't know. If you've passed through there, then maybe it's around. So I'm just going to plug this up here. All right, guys, I will be right back right after this. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in on this 11th hour. And we've talked about, a couple of things on this stream. And I wanted to show you, I'm not sure if it's going to be possible to show you, but I wanted to show you just how everything is being, like everything in the pot is going into, everything is turning into Juneteenth somehow kind of somehow hitches a ride onto LGBTQ, and just about everything is somehow linked to LGBTQ, even Planned Parenthood, and these curriculums that are being taught in the schools right now. It's amazing, but just check out some of the check out the Planned Parent. Let me see if I can share this with you guys. I just want you to see all of the, it's just like a big Marxist buffet right now. Let me just see if I can share this with you. Like, my gosh, Planned Parenthood is in on this right now. What is going on? All right, so let's go there. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Let me see if I can share this. Of course, there's no audio. It's just, I want to show you some of the graphics here. Show you some of the propaganda here. So look at this. Oh my gosh. Now I haven't seen this. Now I'm going to read the title of this, or do you guys want to read it yourselves? It says, get a PAP for your WAP. Ay, ay, ay. Is that what? But look at that. Look. Okay. These people are all working on that. They're all smoking the same. they're all smoking the same stuff. Okay. That's for a lack of a better word. I'm going to give you guys full screen on this. I haven't seen this, but this is worse than I thought. Okay. So look at that. In the center, you've got the George Floyd here to the left. And then they're somehow mixing your reproductive, your WAP and the PAP are all, do you see this? Do you see the distinction here? What's going on here? I'm going to open this up just for a second. I can't, with all this propaganda, I can't resist. So I'm just going to drop this link here. If you guys are interested, I'll give you your usual 3 to 5, or if we get carried away, I'll try to reel it back in. But yes, I just want to know if have you guys been on this IG page? Look at that. I want to zoom in on it, but you guys, you see it here. Let me try it right now. Okay. Looks like it's going to let me. Do you see, like, I don't do the whole pop culture deal, but it seems like I saw the dance exchange between the two rapper women or whatever. What was it? Megan Thee Stallion or somebody. And I don't know who the other person was, but this looks like the same kind of thing, but there's a lot of connotation here. There's a lot going on there, right? All right, I'm going to minimize that one and then just show. But this is on the Planned Parenthood site. See how they mix these cultures together? Let me just keep scrolling here, because I'm sure I've run into, like, what is it? Next thing I'll see, was it birthing people or chest feeding? This language is just. But this is Planned Parenthood. What does Planned Parenthood have to do with all of this? Do you see what I'm see? Here it is. Look at the cookies. Look at the cookies. Donuts. You got donuts. Today is National Donut Day, but abortion is health care every day. But you're also giving out donuts for mocktails. I'm just, friends in code, would you say? Okay, hang on just a second. I'm gonna try to do it again. I don't know where I made a mess right there, but thank you. Yeah, I did. So here I go again. This is your stream, your link here. Okay. So are you seeing how they're blending all of this together? So I don't know what, it's staggering that Planned Parenthood has so much going on. Austin Malice says they look in there as a link to all this. Okay, so yeah, the StreamYard link is out there. Okay, so let's just have a look at something else. I mean, like I said, this is much worse than I thought. I mean, the comments are even more ridiculous. Somebody says abortion is healthcare and donuts are self-care. Why would anybody want to link or wow. Can you imagine? Somebody says that is awesome, but for real, who found letter-shaped donuts? Okay, that's enough of that one. Okay, but I'm just showing you. Look at all of this. Look at all of it. Look at all of this. The mix. They just kind of. It's just a big Marxist salad right here. Everybody's working together. And you've even got you got Planned Parenthood promoting mocktails here. Just about everything. Everything you can think of. Bunch of affirmations here. Okay, let me just click on this one. It says trans and non-binary people deserve quality health care. Trans and non-binary people deserve quality health care. Okay, including gender affirming hormone therapy for trans and non-binary patients at more than 300 health centers in 39 states. Yeah, I mean, this is just like a whole newscast right here. It's boy. I mean, somebody mentioned something like this to me, right? I heard it mentioned, but then I had no idea how involved, how far wrapped into Planned Parenthood, that how they were linked to all these things. But then it makes sense when you look at who was that Lena Wynn that was on CNN, and she was there to say, that they needed to have a carrot to dangle in front of people in order for people to get the mocktail. And then lo and behold, she's the former executor of Planned Parenthood. So I guess it makes a lot of sense. These people are all working together. It's all tied together. So I said, we'll maybe do a couple more on that. But yeah, I just wanted you to see just how intense and how much there is out there. Okay, so let's go to Austin Alice. She says it shouldn't be Planned Parenthood, it should be Planned Propagandahood. And Joseph Francis Burton says abortion is infrastructure. Why not? It's so sad. It's so sad. Reasonability says abortion is murder of human life. Agreed. Ay, ay, ay. But okay, reasonability says, yeah, even the church I was saved in went woke. I don't attend anymore, but also I have grown up a little intellectually since then also. Yikes. But yeah, so yeah, let me see if there's anything else. All of it's pretty outrageous to me, but oh, here we go. Here's another one for you. Immigrant rights are reproductive rights. Planned Parenthood celebrates Immigrant Heritage Month. So really, you could just, you can just, and if you think about it, some of the commercials that are on social media, they're all, yeah, I guess they could just come over here and pick one of these from their little little, theme trees, and then you got a whole commercial for the week. You got a new commercial. So that's the other thing I think that we've talked about before, that I think what the U.S., it was a part of some of the funding. I'm not sure what bill or what bills they're trying to stick it into, but basically, there was something in one of the bills in terms of basically paying for, like, they're a part of the agenda. I think 21 is to make the abortions available, like, globally. So this should not surprise me, I guess, but it's just nice to see where what's stay ahead of the game, where all this junk is coming from. All right. So let's see, what else do we have? Surprised I don't have something on chest feeding or birthing people, chest feeding. Ay, ay, ay. And if you don't say it, then what? If you don't say it like that, what happens to you? Okay, just gonna keep going. It's all about inclusion, right? Okay, and here's one for you. What do you do if someone has multiple pronouns? Is that what we're doing? Okay. I don't quite understand the pronouns. I don't know if anybody out there has an explanation that they would like to share with the pronouns. The link is out there without a doubt. It's out there. I appreciate you guys so much for coming in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn. I really do. And Friends in Code says propaganda is the choice of the controllers for herding the sheep. Samala says it shouldn't be. Okay, we got that one in already. All right, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we are about 2 minutes under. We're 2 minutes under the 1 hour on this segment. And I would like to do one last infomercial to thank our friends, our subscribers, our patrons, and of course, viewers like you. And we will be right back. This show is brought to you in part by our sponsors. Whether you're interested in health, culture, politics, scripture, automobiles, or music, please check out Derek C. Williams, Killer Whale Channels, The Definition of Anarchy, Marcy T., Joseph Francis Burton, Paralysis by Analysis, Chrysler Imperial H, Little Miss Goth, AZ Infidel, Cold War Jesus, Anthony Scioli, and Let the Truth Be Told. We'll be right back right after this. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on this segment of Black Spring with Autumn, and hello to Killer Whale Channels. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I appreciate you guys. So we did go into a couple of things. We had a little bit of a King Newsom was his assault. He survived, clearly. And also we had the mayor of Atlanta. I guess her legacy will be, 100 city-sponsored single-use restrooms. And then the third, we had a little bit of a mass notify tracking device that installs itself without user consent, and including the parental locked devices. And we had quite a bit of propaganda coming out of the IG for Planned Parenthood. All right, and also, not to mention, I'm gonna end on this. All right, we have a declaration there. Okay, and for our final trick, we have sex ed should be accessible, equitable, and inclusive. So there you go. You got a hashtag sex ed for all. Okay. So there you go. So check your kids' curriculum on that. Check your school board, all of that business. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming in. I wanted to say salute to everybody in the stream, and then we're going to get out. Thank you so much, Tyrant Spain TDOA, for coming in. Latin Patriot, thank you. And Risen Ability, thank you so much for coming in. And Friends in Code, thank you so much for coming in and for sharing out the stream. And Killer Whale Channels, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Along with Gary Gage, Zero the Infinite, thank you so much for coming in. And Otto the Watchdog, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Have lots of new faces in the stream. I really appreciate it. And we have awesome Alice, as always, is inspiring us to get flip phones. I don't know. The flip phones were not so bad. The big heavy ones were, the really dense ones that were like remote controls. Maybe not one of those, but I don't know. Do you guys remember the BlackBerry? You graduated to the BlackBerry or some of those items from back in the day, if you will. Information Man Show, thank you so much for coming in. And who else do we have? AZ Infidel, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. And AZ Infidel says, interesting choice of words. And AZ Infidel says, equitable and inclusive for who? There you go, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great night. Thank you for your time and share your opinions with us. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for coming in for the 11th hour. All right, guys. And once again, I hope you guys have had a great Father's Day, and that you have a great start of your week. So I look forward to seeing you guys again next live stream in the comment section on video, a night Q, a real under, or an 11th hour, or a take a break, any of those. And I'll see you guys around. Have a great Monday morning.